Welcome to another SiGMA podcast. With me today I have Dr. Robert Muscat, who will be talking to us a little bit more about his initiatives on the SiGMA Foundation. Robert, welcome.
Thank you.
So first of all, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing and what motivated you to support our foundation and taking on such initiatives.
Okay. So my name is Robert, as you said. I am 54 years old. I am the father of 13-year-old triplets. My wife is a lawyer. I've been 30 years offering service as a notary public, and one of my hobbies, amongst quite a lot, is walking. Obviously, like many of my age, I am an acquaintance of Keith Marshall, who had been for many years literally harassing me. Hey, Bob, come and walk, because he knows that I walk. And last September, I fell for the trap, so to speak, and I started joining the foundation, the SiGMA Foundation treks. I must say that I absolutely loved it the first time I went. I knew quite a number of people who obviously were joining the treks. And as obviously I became part of this group, SiGMA knew about it obviously before, because obviously the awareness of SiGMA is quite spread on social media especially. And obviously the rest of the group then motivated me to go to Camino originally, and I refused because I said I'm too busy, blah, blah, blah. And then, cut a long story short, I was convinced to do Upal, obviously to assist, like many others, SiGMA Foundation's initiatives.
This is something I want to discuss with you. Tell us more about the Upal challenge. How was it? What motivated you to join this challenge? And what was the end goal eventually?
Up till today, I don't really know what motivated me. In fact, sometimes I still ask myself, why did I do it? And many people ask me why. I think it's the camaraderie, the sense of friendliness, the sense of doing something good finally in your life, you know. And I took it as a challenge as well. I took it as a challenge on me personally. I was obviously helped a lot by the rest of the group, who we'll talk about, I'm sure, later. And so I went on to the challenge. It was quite a challenge, as we'll explain later, but I must say that I am glad that I did it. And notwithstanding that we did a lot of good for the less fortunate, I think the experience itself did me a lot of good as well.
That's really interesting. Like, that was the end goal initially.
The end goal was obviously to collect funds. But personally, I took it as a challenge, and I must say that having done it, after quite a stressful few months to get the training going, and obviously I had some injuries, etc., I must say that having done it now, I feel that I've accomplished something twofold, for me and for others.
And what was the training process like? Was it heavy?
As I said, I used to walk a lot on my own. In fact, I'm known as quite a loner when I walk, because I put on my headphones and I literally close the world. With trekking, it's different. Obviously, you have to integrate a bit, not seem to be like you're the loner and the strump, if I can say that in Maltese. The training program started with obviously a lot of hill training. We used to do Riviera, the clay slopes, the stairs, long walks on a regular basis. Obviously, through those exercises and through those numerous opportunities we had as a group, obviously then we became even closer as a group and encouraged each other, because some of us had pains, etc. So we encouraged each other to carry on.
You built a nice friendship as well together.
Yes, very much.
Now I want to know a little bit more, if you can share details about the unique fundraising initiative that took place earlier this year as well.
Yes. As a group, we managed to collect €50,000 for the Women Empowerment Project, which I think is a nice, healthy sum. From my end, obviously through my profession, I chased a number of people to try and help out, and I must say that I got quite a nice response. One particular initiative, which I think can also maybe be emulated by others, was done by a firm in which my wife is an equity partner, WH Partners, it's a legal firm, whereby the partners offered to do something different and interesting, and obviously the rest of the employees had to buy a ticket to participate in a lottery and choose who from those partners will do that particular initiative. And obviously, the initiatives were quite interesting. For example, one of the partners had to be a butler for a day. So the winning employee would have one of her bosses as a butler for her for the day or for him for the day. Another two offered to do a car wash. So we have this is to be done. The butler has been done, and we've got some very nice photos because the partner obviously did the part very well, dressed up with the bow tie and everything, and with the towel on his hand. So it was very well done. Another one owns a B&B, so he offered a night stay, and in the morning he will serve breakfast to the employees. Another one was, I can't remember exactly what, but anyway, there were 7 initiatives. It was very well taken by the staff. In fact, I collected a very healthy sum from this initiative. And then they actually had an event where they drew the winning numbers. And obviously they had me there and presented me the amount of money they collected, and then the partners topped it up a bit more. So it was a very interesting and fun event. Very interesting.
Going back to Mount Tupkal.
I won't go back to Mount Upal.
That's what I was going to ask. How did it feel to reach Mount Upal, to reach the top after so much training?
Too many emotions to explain. I don't think you can really put them in words, because it's something which is, I mean, for me was unique. It was the culmination of a lot of mental stress because, as I said in the beginning, the training which we were doing resulted in me having an Achilles tendonitis, which is a very cumbersome injury. So I spent months of taking therapy, pills, going daily to have magnets to my feet. So I always had this mental worry that I am not going to manage to do it. So actually being there, I'm not shy. I cried. I had teardrops. I mean, seeing the shape of the Mount Upal top was an amazing experience. Almost I didn't enjoy it up there because I was so overwhelmed that I hardly took photos, for example. Like my wife, where are your photos?
It was a rewarding experience.
Yes, very rewarding. Very rewarding.
So would you give this advice to others?
For sure.
To sort of join these initiatives,
For sure.
join the SiGMA Foundation
For
with
sure.
the projects?
100%. As I said, obviously, it ticks a lot of nice boxes, a lot of good boxes. You're doing good for other people, you're doing good for yourself. You get to meet other people, like-minded people, the camaraderie, the friendships you make, the help we had even during the experience itself, because obviously I was carrying an injury. Keith himself was carrying an injury. Another participant, Matt Fella, was carrying an injury. So we really encouraged each other. Okay, the group was very good. So it's I mean, I can't say anything wrong about it because it's so good.
Nice. Going back to the fundraising that you did, how do you think that this project affected the women empowerment project that was taking place in Bonga, Ethiopia, and how did it affect you personally?
Knowing that through SiGMA Foundation's various initiatives, most of the money which is collected, if not all, actually goes for a good cause, for me, stands out. Unfortunately, I don't think that every penny collected for other charities, and I'm not doing any accusations here, but I mean, I don't think, maybe because they are bigger, maybe because knowing the people who are involved, you can actually see what's going on. You can see the project, I mean, we were being updated constantly with the building going on. So that what you're doing is actually going there. For me personally, I mean, I've always wanted to do something good because my life hasn't been bad at all. It's been a good life. So I think it was time for me to do something for others. And I hope Kate now won't start chasing me to do more. But
to give
we'll
back,
always
sort
try,
of.
yes.
You're not going to get rid of Keith that
I
easily.
know.
Any final thoughts or messages you would like to convey to our audience? Maybe people who are thinking of doing these projects, people who are thinking of helping out, joining the foundation. What are your final messages?
I've tried to encourage a number of people, and a lot of people come up with all sorts of excuses. I used to be one of those who used to come up with excuses. To be honest, I think that there's no excuse. If you are physically capable of walking, you are physically capable of doing these treks. And I think that even if, because people tell you, I have to stay chasing people for charity, it's okay. I mean, people actually donate. And you have to chase, but you're doing it for a good cause. And at least in my case, it wasn't just doing something for a good cause, which was my main target, but I learned that from this experience, I also gained myself. And I'm sure that if other people had to do something like this, they would still feel this nice inner peace in themselves, because you're doing something for yourself, physically, and also for others.
While helping others.
Yes.
Robert, thank you so much for joining us today
Thank
for
you.
this podcast. It was really interesting to find out more about these fun initiatives and what you're doing.
Thank you.
So we look forward to seeing you maybe in the next challenge.
We'll see.